What's going on, WWE Universe? It's your boy KJ Wrestlers, giving you everything that is WWE and giving you my take on it. So if you agree, always smash that like button. Let's get into it. And if you don't agree, well, that's what I love to do. I love to talk and let's get the conversation going. But before we get into all that, I need you to do something for me, all right? I need you to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that way you're not missing anything that's going to be released here on this channel. You can also follow me on my social media pages also that are in the bio. But other than that, guys, let's get into it. Hey, y'all, it's WrestleMania season. It's WrestleMania week. So you know what that means. We're going to keep getting into it. We're going to talk about it. They did release the actual match cards for night 1 and night 2. So we're going to actually get into that to see how the flow of that really works, to give you my take on how that is. But before we get into that, they did add another match there, and I wanted to make sure I gave you my prediction and my rating for this. So we have Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, the Pride, versus Akam, Razar, Karrion Kross in the Final Testament. A 6-man, which is supposed to be a Philly street fight from what I'm hearing. And you know what? I'm here for the violence. I'm here for all of that. It's going to be very hard hitting. I'm sure of it. I did give the story quality a 3 stars on this. It's kind of the same thing that I did on my previous video when I mentioned a couple other matches, where it's a 3-star with a let 'em cook tagline, because that's really what we're at here. And honestly, you just couldn't have Bobby Lashley miss 2 WrestleManias in a row. You had to get him on a card, you know what I mean? But with that being said, we're also going to start getting into the night 1 and the night 2 of this amazing event that's going to be going on. So looking into it, it looks like we have Saturday night for WrestleMania night 1. We have Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar. Then leading into the 6-women tag match in Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill versus Damage Control, which consists of Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Moving into that super stacked ladder match of the 6-pack for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships, which honestly, I'm going to go on record, I didn't put it the last one because I didn't realize it, but apparently it has been announced, as we all know now, that the match is not over until both championships are removed. So I did say DIY. I'm still sticking with DIY, but if we're splitting them, let's give Awesome Truth the other tag team championships. It makes only sense for R-Truth to be one of the first people that go up and grab it and then doesn't realize that, oh, I needed to get the other ones. But DIY goes ahead and takes it, and it'll be a great way to split the tag team championships and finally move on, because we have a stacked division on both sides, both shows, and I love it. So we have that, and then we're going to move into the Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso match, the Intercontinental Championship, and Gunther versus Sami Zayn, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, and then of course you have The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, with major implications on night 2. But again, if you can tell by my sweater, it's going to be Bloodline Rules night 2. And I just don't care what you got to say about it. But that's just me. But thoughts on the card and everything else, I do feel like it is a very strong start. I feel like with the first 3 being, Rey Mysterio, the Damage Control match, and the 6-pack challenge, I believe what you're doing, you're going to give a lot of fun, high-flying, action-packed matches going back and forth. It's definitely going to keep us all engaged. I'm super sure of it. It's a nice, fun, uplifting tone to a degree. And then just like in any movie, we start to get a little more serious now. And then we move into the Jimmy versus Jay, and that starts that sibling rivalry story and everything else. And then you start moving into the Gunther versus Sami Zayn, which you know is going to be a slobber knocker with the way Gunther is and the way that Sami Zayn is so resilient. Then you move in to the Women's Championship. Mommy versus the Man is not going to be anything less than what you guys already know these 2 women are going to do. And then the final tag match of the evening, which is just, if you watch the last video, you already know it is bias around here when it comes to it. We the ones, and that's just what it is. Greatest of all time, shout out Roman Reigns. Now, when we get to night two, night two is going to be definitely a night that I'm very excited for. I am liking the way that they have stacked these cards. What we have here for night two, we're going to start off with that Philadelphia street fight that's going to be in there. By the way, I'm a Philly fan. I'm going to say this every video probably, but let's go Philly. So go Eagles, Bird Gang. But back to the WWE. So we have that Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits, the Pride versus your Authors of Pain and Karrion Kross in the Final Testament. Then you're going to lead into LA Knight versus AJ Styles. You got the triple threat match between Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens, which actually I did figure out after watching back and everything else. I actually did not include that match. Shame on me. Shame. So just want to give a quick little insight and rating for that. Honestly, for me, I got Logan Paul going out for the win. Not cleanly, though, but I do think this is how you elevate Paul and continue to elevate his career. You have two very stacked people. I do believe Randy Orton, probably like that Riddle situation when he was injured, that he's leading on a little bit more than what we think. But I do still think that this is the way that Paul gets elevated in the company, and by doing so, you have him in this triple threat match to legitimize his championship run. Now, like I said, it's not going to be clean by any means necessary. I do believe Theory and Waller are going to be a presence there that will be a way to help Logan Paul win that match that night, but I do have Logan Paul. And for the storyline, I did do a 3-star on that one. That's just because I don't feel like we did enough of a build, but again, I think that leads into the injury that happened with Orton, which is why I think we put Kevin Owens in as well. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking when it comes to that triple threat match. But you know, smash the like button if you agree, and again, if you don't, type it in the comments and let's talk about it. You know what I mean? So with that being said, to get back into the rundown of it, then we do lead into Io Sky versus Bayley, then Seth Rollins versus McIntyre, and then Roman v. Cody Rhodes in the final match in the night 2 main event. And honestly, night 2 is cooked up to be everything it's supposed to be. Feels like it picks up right where it left off when it ended on night 1. When we just pick up the ball, we start out with that Philadelphia street fight. We go into a triple threat match where we know all these men. Kevin Owens, fighter. Logan Paul loves to entertain and is a fighter. All right. Randy Orton, fighter. This is just going to be an all-out brawl. All right, when we go into that. And then you go into Io Sky versus Bayley, which gives us a nice little break. I don't think it's going to be as physical, where it will feel like probably more of a storytelling, emotional side of the story. But ultimately, I said it last video, I'm going to say it again. Give Bayley her flowers. She walks out with the dub. She walks out with the championship. That should be who goes in and walks out that night with the women's championship. Then when you go into Seth Rollins versus McIntyre, CM Punk on the side, it's going to just be amazing. And then we finish off with, and please, WWE or whoever the powers that be, if you see this, overbook the hell out of this match. Please. I want to see outlandish, off the wall stuff. You have built this story to be perfectly amazing. I know we have our people that hate Roman Reigns, hate his title reign, hate the bloodline. Guess what? Acknowledge the bloodline and acknowledge Roman Reigns. And if I'm marked for that, oh well. But with that being said, folks, that is my opinions, my view on what I think this WrestleMania is going to be all cracked out to be. Make sure that if you do, and if you haven't already, make sure that you check out my WrestleMania 40 prediction video and everything else. That'll be popped up, should be about right here in this area, if I'm not mistaken. And then right over here, you can go ahead and click on this and make sure you subscribe to that channel and hit the notification bell, because you don't want to miss what's coming next. What do they say again? Cinema. That's what we're putting on here, folks. Cinema. But other than that, y'all, doses.